Yo, welcome to the Choppin It Up podcast featuring
What
your
up,
boy
what up?
Jordan.
What's up? It's your boy Eric.
And we're back at it with episode number 4. It's number 4, right?
Numero cuatro, yes.
Bro.
We're on number 4.
Going quick. All right, guys. So we're gonna talk about, we're gonna put music to the side. We're gonna put just the industry and whatnot to the side. And we're just gonna talk about some things that are, just motivating for people out there that need some inspiration, And I think this is gonna be the podcast where, we're gonna try to do our best to help you stay positive in everything that you go through, And I think this is gonna be one of those podcasts, man, that it's gonna really speak to people. You know?
Definitely.
And so, let's get into it, man. So I kind of want to share off with a story about us.
Do it.
Me and Eric, we've talked about doing a podcast. We talked about starting something that's kind of like in this realm of doing a podcast, and it was kind of like one of those things where I'm a procrastinator. Like I gotta admit, I procrastinate a lot.
Yeah, I feel that.
And so it's like, man, when you kind of brought it up, I was like, bro, we gotta really do this podcast, man. Like this is for real.
Yeah.
And you look at people doing podcasts now, like podcast is like the thing now.
Yeah, it's like I remember our friend Devin, who shout out to Devin, helps us a lot with this podcast. He said starting a band back in the day is the new let's start a podcast now.
Bro, that's true. Yeah.
So it's like podcasting is huge.
It's huge, but it's so important because there's so many people that are doing podcasts that speaks to different people on different, whatever they want to do in their lives. And so, what I would have done in my past with me being kind of that person that procrastinates a lot is that I could have came up to Eric and be like, Eric, bro, let's do this podcast for real. And then we could have just never done it. We could have just been like saying it, but not actually doing it.
Yeah.
And so it got to the point where I'm like, man, I'm 23 years old. If I really want to do a podcast or I want to start a business or whatever, I got to do it now. Like there's no, time is going to keep on going.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to get older, And so I think, just us actually starting this podcast, saying that we wanted to do it and actually doing like the next week and having meetings about it and whatnot, it's so important. And it's so like, it inspires me more, man, to where if I wanted to start something, I got to do it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I got to do it,
Yeah. My biggest thing is that I've come to realize just being, a creative and stuff like that. And a lot of people in the same field as I am, we get ideas and we kind of just sit on them for so long that after a while you just kind of get unmotivated to do them and you kind of just lose the passion to do something. And so, starting a podcast was something that has been, on my heart to do for a long time. And I just felt like, I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I the goal was to just kind of create a community and talk about stuff that we're passionate about with. And hopefully people are also, passionate about with and just kind of want to interact with people. And so, thinking about the idea and thinking about it, I was like, man, I didn't do it last year. I didn't do it the year before.
Yep, time keeps on flying.
And I was just like, it's never going to happen unless I act on it, unless I do it.
Yeah.
And so, we didn't really have any equipment. We didn't really, we had my camera. We had, ideas. And that's all we had. And we put pen to paper and we just were like, all right, we just got to record this. And so we sat down and, if people go back and listen to episode 1, we're a little bit, on edge a little bit. I mean, it's a little bit out of our comfort zone to be talking on camera and to just be talking to people. And, knowing that people are going to watch. But I'm just really proud of ourselves, just that we just did it and we're doing it, and consistency brings success. So
it's key.
If consistency works both ways. If you are consistent with being a procrastinator and not doing things and just keeping it off to the side, you're never going to succeed. It's the opposite of success.
I believe it.
But if you're consistent with doing it and doing things and, pushing yourself and you're just always rolling,
right, you're
going to get to somewhere. You're going to push yourself to another place. You're not going to be stuck. You're not going to be going backwards. You know?
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, man. Is just like with me, it's like a daily struggle for me, man,
Yeah.
to especially, with me being a procrastinator. And I'm not saying I'm proud to call myself that, but it's like I realize that I
Yeah,
am a
you're
procrastinator.
self-aware about it.
Yeah, and so I'm realizing, okay, I need to start doing things now because I will never
Yeah.
do it. So if I, like, for instance, I had homework, right? Yeah, sometimes I will do my homework the day before. Now I ain't gonna lie, my homework is due tomorrow, and I'm still doing it. But that's just another reason of why me being
Yeah.
a procrastinator. Now I did most of it. I have like maybe 1 or 2 questions left, and I would have done it like at 12 p.m. at night, tonight. But it's like, I'm realizing now, it's like, man, why would I put myself through so much stress
Yeah.
of doing my homework so late to where, I'm just gonna rush myself and not really pay attention to each question and
Yeah.
whatever, you know what I'm saying? And that can be in anything, podcast. We did it. Like, there was no, hey bro, let's just, see what happens, man, and put it
Let's sit
off.
on it for a week and
Yeah, think
we'll talk
about it.
about it next week. Now we're just like, all right, let's meet on Wednesday and we're
Yeah.
gonna shoot on Thursday.
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
And bro, like, literally, bro, we were like, you know what? We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about that. Then we're like, oh crap, equipment. And so we're like, you know what, man? We got a camera. Thank you. You got a camera. You got a computer. Like, we got the equipment. At first, we didn't have any mics. Shout out to Devin for the
Shout out
mics.
to Devin,
Hooking us up. And so it's like, we use your camera Rode mic just to use it as and so it was like, just because we don't have the equipment now, or that we really want to have.
I think a lot of people get stuck on the, man, if I just had this, then I could do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know about, and just shout out to, someone in my life that I consider a mentor is Dusty.
Yeah.
And one of the things that he says a lot is get scrappy. And it's like, people don't do that now.
Right.
People don't like work with what they have and try to figure out ways to just do it with what they have.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we didn't have the best quality of audio or video or anything for the first podcast. Our lighting was terrible, everything, but
yeah, we
did it. It happened. And like a lot of people, myself included, I get stuck on wanting to have a perfect thing,
man,
and a perfect product. And I used to get stuck with, man, it's not good enough. I'm not good enough to put it out yet, so I'm not going to do it, or I'm not going to finish it because it's just not there. It's not perfect. And I've just come to realize that it's much better to put something out that you put effort into and that you're doing. And maybe it's not perfect, but you're going to look back and you're going to see how much you've grown.
Yeah.
And that's how you grow. You got to do it in order to grow, or else you're never going to go through those growing pains and be stuck.
Yeah, and it's like, I look at our views on YouTube and our views on Anchor, where we have our audio version, is like, you look at it as that it's very low. It's very, not a lot of people know about us, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, we can't just put out a podcast and expect us to have millions of views or thousands of views. Like, no, like, it's not going to be like, let's be realistic. It's not going to be like that.
We got to celebrate the little wins.
Yeah. Little things matter, bro. Small things matter.
A lot of people don't realize the small wins are so important because they stack up and they mount up to be bigger than the big wins sometimes. And that's so important just as a person to be able to celebrate those little wins, because that little win can carry you over for that day.
Bro, it's so... just those little wins, the small things always matter.
Oh, yeah.
And people think just the big things, the big ideas, whatever, that's cool too, don't get me wrong. But you got to come from somewhere to reach to the mountaintop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, most definitely.
And you unless you're on a plane, you happen to just fall down on the very top of the mountain. Like, no, it's not going to be like that. Yeah. You got to be realistic about things. And so I think all of this has taught me, man, that, you know what, if you really want to do something in your life, you can do it. You just got to put in that work. You got to not procrastinate. I know it's hard. I do it too myself. But you just kind of have to teach yourself, you know what, if I really want to do these things in my life, if I really want to do a podcast or whatever, you got to do it now, bro.
Yeah, I think for us it's a little bit harder, and I'm not saying harder as in like, boohoo us, like, but I think our generation just kind of got accustomed to very quick and easy things. Honestly, like, we have microwaves, like, literally, like, we can just pop in food and get it out in 60 seconds. Yeah. And it's like, a lot of people, are going to label us the microwave generation or blah, blah, blah. We got so much fast food establishments now where we can just go and pick up our food. Yeah. Like, everything's so quick. You go to the internet and you find something out. You can go and listen to whatever song you want to listen to. Yeah. Everything's so quick. And it's so instant. And we've just become, so used to, and our minds become so um, used to that idea of
Yeah.
everything has to be instant, and we're used
Mentality.
to that instant gratification that we never think about the long game. We're always like, I got to get this now. It doesn't matter tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I think that really hurt us as a generation
Mm.
as much as it did, help us in a lot of different ways. I'm not saying that these things are bad unnecessarily, but I'm saying I feel like we got so accustomed to the instant gratification that we just don't know how to deal with the
Right.
longevity of, you know, you want to work out, you want to lose weight. Like, there's not a pill that's going to make you
Nah.
lose 150 pounds
Nah.
in a day.
You might see commercials for it, but it don't work.
And it's hard. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, it's hard. Something that I struggle with, honestly, is my weight and my health and my physical health.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
But what I've learned is that it's not about trying to go to the gym and just destroy your body and go out so hard, because you gotta gradually do things and start adding things and taking things out of your diet, and it's not just a instant process where the next day you're gonna be like looking like freaking Zac Efron or something.
Yeah. No, I think social media is definitely the biggest reason why people act this way.
Yeah, it's easy. Just look at someone's Instagram. It's like, people that you look up to, or the celebrities, like you see them traveling, you see how they're ripped, you see how they're rich, their money, like
cars, houses,
it just creates a false sense of reality, and people just don't realize how fake. Not saying that Instagram is completely fake, but I'm saying like Instagram is just the highlights. No one shows whenever they have a bad day on there. And we gotta pay attention to those things. We gotta be really self-aware when it comes to a lot of things that we do, because you're right, dude. Procrastination hurts.
Yeah,
it hurts a lot.
I've done it plenty of times, man. And like I said, social media it's a blessing and a curse.
Oh yeah.
It's you can, if you have a business, you can promote your stuff and get people to really understand who you are and what your business is. If you're a person that's an athlete, I mean, you can post your videos, whatever. Like, there's so many reasons why social media is so great, but then you see the downfalls of it. And I think this is at the highest now, to where Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that is like, you see Kim Kardashian, you see Drake, or you see whoever living their lavish lives and living their life to where, you know what, we can do that. And we can live a life like that if we wanted to. But the reason is that you just can't all of a sudden wake up and just be like, you know what, I'm gonna go buy me a Lamborghini, I'm gonna go buy me $1 million house.
Yeah.
Like, no.
We don't have that type of,
we don't
not the regular person.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people are like, I want to be a millionaire by 25, and then they're like upset because they're not getting close to that at 23, 24.
Yeah.
And then, they look at like someone like, well, it's because I just look at people my age, like Kylie Jenner and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, man, you got to realize that Kylie Jenner and a lot of those people who come from already a famous family, like they had already people setting stuff up for them so they can step into success.
Yeah. I mean, bro, trust me. If I grew up in the Kardashian family and I had all of those just ideas that they have, and just people that she's around, like she's around people that's gonna help her make millions and millions of dollars. I mean, unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity because we're not around people that are rich like that, and that's okay and that's fine. But people think that, okay, well, if Kylie Jenner is rich, then I can just wake up and be rich. No, you gotta work you can be rich if you want to.
You also gotta give them credit, because even though they did get to step into some type of like success because of their family,
they didn't relax.
They still didn't just walk in and just do it. Like, I know Kylie Jenner is putting out makeup and blah blah blah, and like she's a businesswoman too.
I gotta give it to her. She's doing her thing, bro. And that's cool. But it's like, it's teaching the generation the wrong thing. It's teaching the generation that, you know what, we don't have to work as hard to get to where we want to go. You gotta work extremely hard, and sometimes it's gonna be tough to go through that.
Yeah.
But the process is worth it.
And I feel like we've been sold this idea that by 25 you should, have it all together. You should be making
Oh
six
yeah,
figures,
I got
blah
a
blah
lot of
blah.
examples with that.
And like, it's just not the case. I Some people don't get, what to the level they want to get to, or don't even like get the amount of money until they're in their late 30s
Yeah,
sometimes. And
yeah,
it's like sometimes even further than that. Like,
yeah,
some people were in their 80s when they finally hit their first million.
yeah,
Like, we gotta play this the long game. You gotta
yeah,
play the long game, because if you're trying so hard for like 2 to 3 years to be a millionaire and you don't get that, like, for one, you're killing yourself, and you're gonna be so unmotivated, and that depression is gonna hit so hard when
mm,
you pass the age of like, by this age I have to be this, because it's gonna screw yourself over, and you're not gonna be in love with what you do. You're not
yeah.
gonna be in love with the process anymore.
Yeah, for like example, like yesterday, we posted this post on Instagram that says, "I'm going to be a millionaire." Now, I'm not telling myself I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow or 6 months, a year. It's a process to be a millionaire.
Yeah, it's about the process.
But as long as I'm telling myself consistently that I can be a millionaire, that I'm going to be a millionaire, those things were manifesting, and that they can happen. But I had to put in my 100%, 1,000%, a million% effort to get to that point in life.
Yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes people have dreams and goals, and they might not they might not reach it, but they get close to it, and they're still happy.
Yeah.
And I think happiness is the most important thing, because most people are not millionaires, and that's fine. But as long as they're happy living their daily lives, and they're enjoying what they're doing, their passions are very strong for what they do,
hmm
then that's fine.
I think it's about finding joy in what you do,
Man, I'm telling you,
because
bro.
happiness is very temporary,
Mm,
and joy is more like a long lasting thing.
yeah,
Like, you find joy in something, like, you you get that.
yeah,
You keep getting that. When you're happy, you're not always happy.
yeah,
Let's just be honest. We're not always waking up the next day and we're like, yes.
yeah,
Sometimes, depending on who you are or what your situation is, some people go through a lot of things where they don't wake up happy, but you can still find joy in some things that you do.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't like I woke up all of a sudden and was like, I want to do a podcast. Like, it took us years to finally realize, well, you know what? Let's do this, bro.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And now we're doing this weekly, and we do this all the time, and we're having so much fun, bro. Like,
Oh
literally,
yeah.
this is like a joy to me, because we get a chance to talk about life, culture, music, things that we enjoy, and things that we live and see every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, sometimes you don't really discover your gifts or your passions all of a sudden. Sometimes it takes time, bro.
Yeah. And like, a lot of people just want to, like, I'm not discouraging anybody to not do what they want to, what they want to do, but sometimes you just got to be self-aware in a lot of things. And, maybe you want to be a baseball player, you want to be a rapper, or you want to be like a business person or whatever, but, do it. Don't be discouraged on not doing it. But if, you keep seeing a pattern of like, maybe I'm not doing it well,
Mm.
it's okay to be self-aware and be like, maybe I wasn't supposed to do this, but maybe I'm supposed to be doing something with this. So like,
Gary Vee, bro.
yeah, so maybe you're not, so maybe you want to be a rapper, and you realize, honestly, my flow sucks.
Yeah, my bar is trash.
But I can produce some nasty beats.
Or you can start a label.
Or you can start a label, and you're like, man, you know what? Actually, I'm better at managing these people than I am about being that person.
Mm.
And it's like, do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay to not be the superstar and be in the limelight. It's okay to be behind the scenes and be doing stuff from afar. And, it's okay to do that. As long as you find, you're good at that, like, do that.
Yeah.
Do what you're good at.
Yeah. And bro, and that's important that you say that, Eric, because it's like, people get overwhelmed about not being able to do the things that they really want to do, like being an
Yeah.
athlete or a rapper and whatnot. And sometimes, things just really don't work out to the point where you can't do that. But you can still do those things in that industry that will still bring you joy and happiness because
Hmm.
you're still working in that field and you're still doing, basically discovering a new passion that you like in that same field.
Yeah.
And that's so important for people to realize
It's
that,
okay to fail.
bro.
It's okay
You
to
fail
fail,
every
people.
day. Yeah.
Like I was saying, if you're passionate about this or X, Y, or Z, and you want to go do it, but do it to its fullest extent.
Yeah.
Try your hardest, and if you fail, it's okay.
It's okay
Just
to
because you
fail.
failed once doesn't mean that you aren't, meant to do that. Try
Yeah.
it again, keep doing it. But once you start seeing a pattern, it's like, okay, then that's when you start like not questioning yourself or questioning what you're doing, but just being self-aware of like, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back and reevaluate a couple of things, and maybe just look at things from a different perspective, different angle.
Yeah.
And it's okay to fail. I've failed a butt ton of times. And
It's okay
you
though.
just got to get back up.
And my parents had to teach me that the hard way. Just we're going to always fail in life. We're going to always fail in any situation, and it's okay because those failures will push you to the top. Just like my dad told me about this book, and it was talking about failing forward.
Yeah.
Think about that. You're failing forward because each failure will lead you to where you want to go because you learn from that situation.
Oh yeah. Like, biggest thing is like, if you not take away anything from that failure, you're gonna go backwards.
Facts.
You're not gonna progress. You're gonna do the same mistakes. You gotta learn from what you failed, and sometimes the lesson in failing is worth more than the actual win. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
I've learned so much from messing up and failing at life in different ways, in jobs, in relationships, in
It lights a new fire, bro.
like it. You learn so much, and you're not only able to do it better next time, but you're confident in what you're doing.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's just like, to all my entrepreneurs out there that are, business minded and they had a business that failed and you just been so discouraged about it. Like, it's okay, man. There's so many ideas that you can come up with and start, and you can start another business and start another. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, and that's okay because you're learning from your mistakes and you're learning from your failures. And as long as you write down your failures and write down what you messed up on, and you realize, okay, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. That is the perfect way to live your life because okay, I did this wrong. Let me do this right.
Yeah.
Because I bet you won't make that mistake again.
Yeah,
And that's in anything in life.
just be and it's okay to. It's not okay to sit there and sulk in your failure, because that leads to you being depressed and just being doubtful
don't do that.
and being down on yourself, and that's not okay. That's not a good mindset to have. But definitely, looking at what you did and what you did wrong, what you could have done better, and looking at what you could have done better as an opportunity to grow and learn, instead of looking at how, man, I suck, or man, I'm terrible, man, I'm not supposed to do this, or whatever.
All those negative thoughts.
Don't sulk in that. Don't sit there and like literally bathe in these thoughts of, that are gonna cause you to
negativity,
be even more of the opposite end of successful, because you're not gonna grow that way.
There's no way you can grow. And again, we can go back to this all day, but social media is another reason why people think so negatively.
Yeah.
Music, movies, news, anything.
And everything's in your face, and social media has become such a part of regular day life. It's almost like, I'm gonna do a comparison of social media is almost like having a watch. Like back in the day when having a watch was a thing, because people nowadays don't really have a watch,
their phone now.
or they got an Apple Watch or Android Watch or whatever they got. But like, even now, the watches that we have, the smartwatches, they give you Twitter notifications, text messages, calls. Like, we're always connected to something. And like that social media now, we carry it with us everywhere. It's
everywhere,
almost like that watch
twenty
where
four
we have
seven.
to keep. We're not checking the time. We're checking. Hey, did someone like this post? Hey, what's going
Yeah,
on the timeline?
yeah,
Or oh, what? There's beef going on. Like, what's
yeah,
going on?
yeah,
And so it just kind of creates this vacuum that we just kind of get lost in, of like, man, my life kind of sucks compared to all these people who are doing so much more exciting things.
yeah. No, and that's where it gets really scary, man. It gets really scary. And I have sometimes, man, I will wake up, go straight to my phone and look at Twitter and Instagram. And it's a habit, it's a consistent habit.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I was never like this. I was never, when we didn't even have social media, like we would wake up and go to school, go straight to school or whatever we had to do. We wouldn't look through our phones just to find out stuff. Like it was just like it kind of happened. And so it's like now, man, social media is like the drug, bro. It's really like our drug. But yeah, so social media is that drug, man. And it's so it's just sad, man, because again, bro, you see people trying to live their lives like a celebrity, like somebody that has a big life, and they just want to be like that person. But I think the most important thing that we can teach people and even ourselves, bro, it's just to be who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Be who
Yeah.
God called you to be, because God has destined you to be, who He wants you to be.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing, is that don't carry yourself in a way where you're trying to imitate somebody else that is a celebrity. Like that's not cool,
Yeah.
you know.
And going back to the whole like waking up and getting on your phone immediately, that was a huge habit for me, and
Yeah,
it's
man.
still something that it's hard for me, but I've made a priority that in the morning I'm gonna take time to meditate on the word and to really pray and just think about things. And um I think it just changes your mindset for the rest of the day,
Yeah,
because you're not immediately being fed all this news and like what's going on and blah blah blah. Like, don't get me wrong, like I said, I totally don't feel like social media is literally the most evil thing ever, but it can be. It
yeah,
can become
yeah,
some type of chain for somebody where it's like,
yeah,
man, I just can't let go of this.
yeah. And that's how it is, bro. And that's literally how it is. And you know, the, I think for me, man, I need to start getting to a point where I have to cut out social media daily, or just not even using it for a day or two, just to kind of make myself feel so much better about who I am, and just kind of just cutting that out, because again, bro, it's a blessing, bro, but it can be like the most deceiving
Yeah.
piece of information that's in your hand and your phone, and it's just gonna throw you off, because it's like you see all this negativity, you scroll and you see all these beefs that are going on. Of course, it's entertaining. Don't get me wrong. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
bro, but then it's like, man, like if you see that consistently, it's just gonna like mess with your mind, bro. It's like a little,
Yeah.
like
It's
it
like
just,
a it's like a when you get a song stuck in your head.
yeah, you
It's
can't
kind
get
of
it.
like it's just there. It's just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
keep thinking about it. And social media is literally built, like the algorithm is built for you to keep scrolling.
mm,
Like, the reason why Instagram did the thing where it's like not showing chronologically is so you will keep scrolling to make sure you catch everybody's posts.
mm.
So like you're gonna see
Never gonna stop.
you're gonna see a post from 3 days ago, and you'll be like, man, I thought somebody posted something like today or
Yeah,
something.
they smart.
And they'll keep you scrolling until you find that post, and that's how you get stuck in that loop of like, man, I'm just gonna keep scrolling.
It's, bro, and that's the word, bro. It's a loop. The stories now, the Instagram stories, and
Yep.
it's just like, and there's probably more ideas that they have coming. Like it's crazy, and I don't want to just sit here and just knock social media down to the part where it's like it's not important. Social media is a blessing, bro. Like I said, but it's just like, man, we can't not let ourselves just be a person that just depends on social media to
Mm-hmm.
kind of build ourselves up, or and it can, but just kind of like using it as food or water. Like we can't
Yeah.
just use it for nutrition, because we're not gonna be satisfied, bro,
Mm-mm.
and we're gonna feel so stuck because we see things that we want to do, but it's just not realistic.
Yeah, 100%. You know, I was a huge anti-social media until about 2014, whenever I made a Twitter.
Mm,
Um, and I made it because one of my friends, Chris, he he was leading a Bible study and was like, yo, bro, I think you should get a Twitter, kind of help you with this stuff. And I was like, okay, sir. And I was like, I'll do it, but I'll only use it for that. And lo and behold, nowadays I actually help, with social media, and I, use social media as a tool. I think that's where we get messed up, is that we got to remember that social media is a tool and not like your end all be all.
Yeah, no, it's not everything, bro.
We got to use it as a tool.
Yeah.
I love memes. I love making memes. I love sending memes.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
But like the fact that our phones nowadays have to have, a screen time, report every week of like, hey, this is how much time you're spending on your phone, kind of just tells you where we're going.
Oh my God, bro, don't even get me started on that, bro. Like the screen time thing that I have on my phone now, like I don't even want to say how long it. Okay, let me just go ahead and say it. But I hope my mom and dad isn't listening to this, because they're gonna be like, boy, if you don't get off your phone. But I've been like, my percentage is getting lower each week, but I think my peak time was like 9 hours. And
okay,
like
you're gonna
60.
be upset at mine.
But see, you kind of have to do it though.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Look, so I work social media, so I literally have to be on it and like, know what's going on, know what's trending, know what's cool, and I get my screen report time, and sometimes
drum roll, please.
I think last week's, and I might have saw the wrong number, but I promise it said 14 hours.
Wow.
And I was just like, and
it's like make you sick though. It's
my
like,
fiance gets really upset because she's like, 14 hours? Are you serious? And I'm like, this is what I gotta work, and so like sometimes I can't put my phone down. But
sometimes you can't.
But I'm getting better. I'm trying. Yeah. I'm trying to put down my phone whenever I'm doing some things, or when I'm spending time with
people,
her, or when I'm spending time with my friends or my family. Like I'm trying my best to put it down, but it's so hard. It's so hard.
It's embedded.
Because it's like, what do you nowadays, what do you do when you go take a poop? Like, let's be honest.
I either check my fantasy basketball app or football. Shout out to my fantasy people. You already know what's up. Or I just go on Instagram or Twitter, bro.
Exactly. And you go and you scroll. Back in the day, I'll be 100% honest, transparent on this podcast. What I would do is I would look for whatever product was in the restroom, read the ingredients on the thing.
Dude, bro, I swear I do that still, bro. I swear I do.
I don't know why I would do that. Maybe I should have been taking a book to read, but low key, that's what I would do. And I don't know why, but I just enjoyed having something to read and just being like, I don't even know what these ingredients are, but that's what makes this shampoo.
Bro, that made me weak. But no, it makes things flow better. Literally, it makes things flow. Cause you just like, bro, if my phone is charging in the other room or it's like out of batteries, this is kind of off topic, but whatever, we gonna get into it. Like literally, I would look at my deodorant ingredients, bro, and read that mug, bro. I'd be like, oh, word, I got citric acid in this mug, bro. I got fragrance, really? Like, bro, that's funny, dog.
Bro, and
it helps,
true,
bro.
Because I don't know. I have a theory, and I mean, I'm sure that it's been scientifically shown why.
That made my day.
But like, I feel like if you don't concentrate on your actual bowel movement, but you catch your mind and you relax it and you're reading something, like everything flows better.
Hey, man, seriously.
So whoever's listening to this and is like, why are they talking about?
Yeah, we went on a poop topic.
Talking about your poops. Yeah. I'm sorry. But you poop too, and you do the same thing. Don't even come at us with this.
No, but like it's I think for me too, man. It's just like now we have the podcast and whatnot, and I have my business. I kind of have to be on there consistently. But again, bro, there's just been times, bro, where I'm just on there just to be on there because I'm bored, and I'm like, why am I doing this when I can read books or when I can read motivational stuff or even look at motivational videos that inspire me to be better? And I just look on Instagram and see so-and-so got a beef or Soulja Boy doing something stupid, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just things that don't make us better, bro. We're paying more attention to. And that's the main thing, bro. We're paying attention to things that doesn't make us better.
Exactly.
Or make us money.
Yes, exactly. Who cares what Soulja Boy doing, or what's his name? Homie that starting all this beef right now.
Tory Lanez.
Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
Tory Lanez, I could not name a single song by you, homie. I looked at your page on iTunes and I was like, you are disqualified immediately. Your album covers.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So like, yeah, we're just paying attention to a whole bunch of crap that I'm just like, why does this matter?
Cause like, you know, for me, man, like I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, Mavericks fan, like all Dallas sports teams. I'm a diehard
sports fan.
And it's like, I had to teach myself, man, especially as being a Cowboys fan. They always let you down every year. I still love them, but they do every year.
Shout out to the Cowboys.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to teach myself, you know what? I can't get fully invested in a team or any team because am I making money from them? Now it's different if you work for the Cowboys or you work for the Mavericks or whoever team, and that's your job and that's your passion is to be in sports. And it's like you make money doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But as a fan, you know, I'm giving them my money and they're not, I don't want to say satisfied, but they're not playing as well as we want them to. They're not reaching the Super Bowls in the last 20 or so years. And it's sad, but I would get so down and out, bro, about a loss or about a whatever. And don't get me wrong, bro. If it's like a close loss and it's like a nail biter and we end up losing because of a heartbreak, yeah, I'm going to be a little salty for a couple hours. But it's like I had to teach myself, man, I can't just depend on somebody to make me happy.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna fail, bro, 99% of the time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not making any money. I'm not making any money watching the Cowboys game.
Yeah.
I'm literally just sitting there wasting my time. It's a good, you know, Sundays, bro, whatever. That's cool.
Nothing wrong with watching games, entertainment,
yeah.
None of that.
You know, but I'm not making money watching these players and watching my favorite teams. And that's okay, but it's like we spend so much time invested in that. And it's like, what are we getting out of it? Either joy because we won a game or we won the Super Bowl or whatever. That's cool. But I don't see no PayPal notifications saying.
I think that can be put into a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Netflix. Netflix is the biggest idea killer, I feel like, because you can be on Netflix literally for probably the rest of your life, and you probably wouldn't finish every single show that's on there and movie. There's just so much.
Yeah.
And like, it's so easy to just be like, I'm just gonna put some Netflix on and just chill, whatever.
Yeah.
Throw on a couple episodes of The Office or whatever, and just not do anything productive.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's so easy to do that.
Yeah. And thankfully I'm not really the biggest Netflix person. It's because my attention span is very low, and it's like another bad addiction is I can be watching a movie, you know, with my girlfriend or whatever by myself, and then I'll be on my phone looking at social media while the movie's going on. It's like both worlds are just in a bad position, bro, that I'm doing that, you know. So it's just like I need to just turn my phone off, put it down, spend quality time. And my girlfriend fires me up all the time, bro, because I'll be on my phone while we're just hanging out, and she's like, "Why are you on your phone?" And I get kind of salty, bro. I'll be like, "Chill," and she'd be like, "No, for real, like, why are you on your phone?" Like realize that, you know, we're in a time now where we get a chance to spend quality time with each other, and you're on your phone when you can look at it later.
Yeah, I was so bad at this. I was fired up, plenty. And I've just come to realize, you know, if I'm gonna do this, if I'm gonna be on my phone, I'm gonna include her into this, and we're gonna look at things. If we're not looking at things together, then I'm not gonna be on my phone. If it's not something that we can do together, then I'm not gonna do it, because you know, when we're together, it's about spending quality time and, you know, being there and being in the moment and just, you know, talking and you know, having a good time, not having to rely on something to entertain us, you know? Yeah. And I feel that strong.
Yeah, but because, like, I don't want people to think that I'm, like, the person where I'm with friends or family or my girlfriend.
Phone stacks are dope.
Yeah, and I'm just on my phone, like, no, it's not like that. Like, she can be watching her favorite show, but The Bachelor, or some, you know, weird show on Netflix. And, like, I'm not really invested to it because it's just, like, it's kind of like a chick flick. Nothing wrong with chick flicks, but it's just not something that I would want to just sit there and just, like, Like just watch.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I just go on my phone, go on Instagram, go on fantasy basketball, and
Yeah.
just check my stuff.
Yeah.
And she doesn't get mad about that, but it's like there'll be times where I'm out for dinner and we're trying to hang out or do something, and she'll, I'll be on my phone. I'm just like, I can't be doing that. I can't be doing that.
Yeah. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
And I think I just kind of started, putting my phone down.
Yeah.
Soon as I go see Christina.
Yeah.
And I started putting my phone down and just being like, all right, I gotta leave it there. I gotta leave it there. Making sure that I don't get on it, because it's so easy to just just start freaking doing the thing and whatever.
Swiping up, swiping down, cross, whatever.
Social media can be such a pain, and the more and more that I use it for other things, the more and more I start seeing it as a tool and as work, and then kind of it becomes a chore almost to kind of be on it when you're not doing something that's productive. So I'm just trying my best to, like, you know what, if I'm not gonna be doing something productive, maybe stay off of it.
Yeah.
So I usually get on YouTube and I'll look up, some video tutorials, or
which is good,
looking at what people are doing, or learning about something. I think it's okay to use those things to learn.
Yeah, and anything that I think I'm realizing, anything that makes you better in your life, and any insecurities that you have that helps you kind of move on from those insecurities or issues that you have going on in your life. Like if there's a book, or there's a podcast, I mean, if there's a song, or if whatever that helps you, that's the most important thing, because we continue to go to social media as our crutch for a situation, and it's just not going to help. I think we need to maximize our time. And I'm kind of speaking to myself when I say that.
Oh, yeah.
Because my dad, I mean, he's the one that's all about maximizing your time and being productive. And I'm slowly starting to realize that, okay, yeah, I'm not getting any younger. Time is flying. It's almost February. It's crazy. It's like things are just going so fast that it's scary in a sense. But it's like, man, you gotta be wise with your time. It's so important.
Something people don't realize is time is something you will not get back.
Time says, hey, bro, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Like, saw this post on Twitter where the Twitter account themselves tweeted, what would you tell your teenage self if you could? And it kind of got me thinking, and thought of like my teenage years, and thought of what I was doing and what I could have been doing differently to kind of jumpstart where I'm at now, and think about how maybe if I started earlier, I could have been way more ahead. But, everybody had the same problem, I feel like, around me, where everybody was kind of a procrastinator.
Yeah.
And I kind of fell into that too,
Yeah.
It's so easy to have been like, oh, you know what, I got homework due tomorrow, but if I get to school about an hour earlier, I might be able to fit it in between passing period, if I can get. And so then you kind of just, and then I just kind of started realizing now as an adult, like, I think I went through more trouble trying to figure out how to do it the day of or the day before than actually just doing it.
Yeah. Like
earlier. Like, it would have been, for one, easier. I wouldn't have had to go through these elaborate plans of like, maybe if I get to school this early, then I'll be able to fit it in somewhere in between.
Yeah.
And I see that now, like, it's such an important thing to be aware of, is, your own shortcomings, almost, of like, what you're not really good at. Try to kind of work on those areas.
Yeah. I tell myself a lot, man, is that I don't want to live a life of regrets. Living a life of wishing I did this, wishing I did that. And Gary Vee talked about that. Like, some people peak at a later time than others. Some peak at an earlier time than others, and whatever passion that they have. But it's like, you don't want to be sitting at 45, 50, 60 wishing that you would have done this or done that or started this and that. Yeah. That is, man, that is the worst way, because it's just like you can't get that time back. You know,
You
we
cannot.
can't press the rewind button on the DVR and expect to go back to that
Yeah,
place. You know,
exactly.
you can't do it.
And
I wish,
man, it
but
it makes me a little bit sad to think that there's so many people who on their deathbed
mm,
go, the only thing they could think about is, man, I should have spent more time with my family, or man, that job wasn't really that important, or I wish I didn't do this, or I wish I spent more time here. And I think most people, when they're on their deathbed, and I feel like the thing that they say the most is, man, I wish I would have spent my time a little differently. I don't think they ever say, man, I should have spent more money on this, or should have spent less money on this, or I could have invested more in this, or something like that. I feel like it's always, I should have spent my time a little bit differently. I feel like that's the biggest thing. We gotta know, as a instant gratification generation, that it's not gonna be like that. It's not all. Life is not like that. Life is literally a process. It's literally a lifelong process. And so, like, we got to be really aware of what we're doing, and don't misconstrue what I'm saying and try to think that, what I'm saying, you got to always be about business, always be about your business. Like, enjoy your life, man. Enjoy your 20s. And I that's something that I have to constantly remind myself, and that I have people reminding me a lot, is that you are 23. Why are you so worried that you're not at where someone is when they're 40 years old and they have 20 years of experience ahead of you, bro? And it's like, why are you so frustrated of what the position you are in now? Why instead of doing that, why don't you enjoy where you're at, enjoy what you're doing, and work towards that goal, and instead enjoy the process of it? Because I catch myself like in days where I wake up, I'm like, man, I haven't done nothing. I have accomplished nothing. There's nothing to my name. There's nothing that I can be like, I've accomplished this. And it's like, what exactly goes into 23 years of life? Like, most of that was spent in school. Like, why do I assume that I was gonna, I don't know, create the next, like, Spielberg movie or something at 23? Like, it's crazy to start thinking about that. And it just kind of makes you wake up and think, you know what, I shouldn't be doubting myself. I shouldn't be down on myself. It's okay that I'm at where I'm at, but it's not okay to stay where I'm at.
I think society, and that's awesome, Eric, that you're preaching to me, bro. I literally, it's like I'm watching like a motivational video just by what you're saying, because it's true. And I'm not a person that acts like I have everything or I know everything, and that I think, positively all the time. Like, I'm a very positive person, but daily I deal with struggles of procrastination. I deal with struggles of, like, wondering, like, what am I going to do with my life, and what do I want to accomplish, and the goals that I want to accomplish. And I have to tell myself, man, like, sadly, society thinks that we should have everything figured out now. When sometimes you won't figure it out for a minute. But as long as you continue to work towards whatever passion you have, whatever gifts that you have, and whatever you love to do, then that's fine. But it's like society just teaches the wrong way. Schools are teaching us the wrong thing. Schools are not teaching us how to start a business. Schools are not teaching us how to really use your gifts.
Preaching
seriously
to the choir here, bro, because I was and I'm totally not trying to sit here and be like, oh, I was smart, blah blah blah, but I took very advanced classes, most of my career in school, public school. And one thing I realized going into high school, like, after taking all those classes, like, I was like, whoa, I started working at 15. I didn't know anything about taxes. I didn't know, like, the government took taxes from me. I didn't know where those taxes were going. I didn't know about my local politicians. I didn't know, like a lot of things that like people, as soon as they graduate high school, like, you know, they go to college, or some don't, some go to trade schools, or some just start working or whatever. And it's like, we're just kind of left to find out a lot of things that we should have been taught. You know, maybe the last year of high school, it should be really a year where they're preparing people for life, because I wasn't prepared for a lot of things that, you know, we go through. Like, I don't know anything, you know, I didn't know anything about health insurance, or I didn't know anything about how to put money back for my 401k, or how to start a 401k, or the difference between all that stuff, or why is your credit score important? What do you do whenever, you know, this or that, or like, you know, how do you do basic, you know, things with your finances? How do you start you know, a bank account? How do you start a savings account? Like, why is it important to do this stuff? And it's like, we're teaching kids how to find the Pythagorean theorem or something. Honestly, that was the most ignorant thing I've ever said. But anyways, we're teaching kids a lot of things that they don't necessarily need to know. And not everybody needs to know, you know, because not everybody's going to go to college and, you know, be a mathematician or be a doctor or be a lawyer. And it's just the honest truth. Not everybody goes into those roles. Some people have the dream of, hey, I want to start my own business. Hey, I want to, you know, my whole role in life is that maybe I want to do a nonprofit or, you know, be that kind of person. But it's like, none of that is taught on how to do that after high school, because everybody expects you're going to go to college and then you'll figure it out there. And so, you know, they expect at college to teach you a lot about these things. College don't teach you about these things.
No. And that's the thing, man. It's sad, bro, because again, I don't want to sit here and knock school at all. You know, I'm not trying to tell people don't go to college. If you can afford to, first of all, to go to college, and you want to learn, then college is fine. But college is not for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that the prices, I think the way the tuition costs is ridiculous.
The whole concept of college to me is very infuriating, because you expect kids who went to a public school, who were taught how to take a test, not how to learn. And they expect those same kids to go to college and thrive. And like, we're expected to take out these ginormous loans to pay for this school that's supposed to get us that job to pay off the same loans.
Wow.
Like, what kind of cycle is that?
Wow.
And it's like, if they were really for, you know, the kids and the students and the parents, you know, for them to help them with school and helping them learn how to, you know, be financially sound, maybe kids could have started, you know, saving for college their freshman year in high school. Maybe started off on a better note when going into college, knowing that college is expensive, because they don't start talking about, you know, how much college costs until maybe you're a junior in high school, and then you got maybe 2 years to prepare for college. And it's like, what kind of world is that, where you're as soon as, and I'm speaking from a standpoint of like, my parents didn't even go to high school. Like, they didn't get the that privilege of going to school. Like, my dad only went to like maybe second grade.
Wow.
And it's like, you know, we don't know a single thing about college. They didn't know about college. All they know is that you're supposed to go to college. Or they think. And
society, bro.
So, like, I feel like a lot of people are set up for failure just because they're not educated properly on a lot of things that goes into, you know, life after high school, because you are only required to go through high school by law, and then you don't have to go to college if you don't want to.
No, you don't.
But, you know, a lot of people, I feel like, were destined to go to college and to get a career with a degree. But some people weren't.
Yeah, and that's fine, and that's okay. And I was reading this book, and it was talking about how, again, college is good, but we had to realize that, you know, we learn more things by reading books or reading articles or going online to research things more than we learn in colleges. And does that cost any money? Not really, you know.
Yeah.
And in colleges, bro, I'm not gonna sit here, bro, and say it's a scam because I don't want to be that person, and I'm not trying to get fired up. But when you're having to spend thousands, a hundred thousands of dollars to learn information that you can easily learn on the internet,
Yeah.
how is that fair?
And I am not gonna sit here and be like, don't go to college or college isn't necessary, because there are so many careers in which I
Yeah,
strongly believe that you need to go to college for that.
yeah,
I don't want no freaking doctor to learn how to do surgery off of YouTube. That's scary.
yeah,
But I'm saying, like, there's a lot of people who, instead of college, they were not taught, or they were not, like, okay, just a little thought. I find it really funny that high schools always want to play up colleges and, play up about going to college, and you have to go to college, or you're not going to be successful. But they never talk about trade schools. They never talk. And, I keep hearing this argument of like, oh, millennials only want to be their own boss and don't want to do the hard jobs or don't want to do this jobs. It's like, there's a lot of people that I know that I went to high school with, that they had a passion for building things and being in construction, but that was a pathway that was always looked on as a lesser than job or a lesser than career.
yeah,
In high school, they were like, I literally had a teacher tell me that I wasn't going to amount to anything and that I was going to be a construction worker just like my dad and my uncles. And for one, that was racist because I'm Mexican.
yeah.
And two, that was just like, why is that so bad? What if someone actually likes to work with their hands?
Hey, bro, I tell you this, they make some bank. Construction is where it's at. I don't care what nobody say. Construction is where it's at.
They make a lot of money.
They make bank.
I'm 100% sure that some construction workers make like 3 times the salary that teacher made.
Facts. And that's the thing. I feel like, especially like high school or the senior year of high school, it was almost like going to a seminar that wants you to go to another seminar, but you got to pay like $1,000 to go.
Yeah.
And because I remember I went to like some entrepreneurship seminar last year, and like they tell you you're gonna learn some things in this seminar,
but you got to pay up to go to the next one.
And it's just like going from high
that's
school.
where they tell you the secrets.
Yeah, and that's going from high school to college. Is that yeah, they might tell you some secrets, they might tell you some other things as well, but it's just a sell job, bro. High school is important. You got to go through high school. Like, I'm not knocking high school, but
you better go to high school.
Yeah, you got to
get your freaking high school diploma.
Go to high school.
If you are going to public school, I promise you, this is what upsets me the most out of anything. Okay, there are certain situations where I totally understand. You can't, there's life happens. But if you are a capable, able person and you decide to drop out of high school, that upsets me, because a lot of people don't get that opportunity, especially if you're going to public school.
Yeah.
A lot of these teachers literally make no money. They sometimes have to spend their own money for supplies and stuff like that for you to be there in their class. Yeah. Like, have that kind of mindset. The mindset of, a lot of people don't get that privilege.
No, they don't.
So go to high school.
Yeah.
Get your high school diploma. It's important.
High school is everything, man. But again, bro, I just think that college is a industry, man, where it's just like,
it's a business, bro.
It's a business. Literally, it's a business, and they're making bank, dog. Like, bro, let me own my own college, bro. Shoot, what's up? Let me go ahead and own my own college.
The president of the United States had his own university. That was. I'm just gonna stop there and not continue that sentence. But my thing about earlier about how I said it was funny how high school is like, you better go to this college, and it's like, I wonder if that school or the district gets paid by that college to promote that college. And it's like, never thought of that. that. Never like maybe something goes on where like they promote this school because it's, hey, you gotta come here because we're giving your school money to tell you to come here. And I just never see trade schools ever promoted or seen as a thing that it's okay, or that it's on the same like playing field as going to college. There's a lot of things that, going back to that statement earlier, I don't think I finished what I was saying about the whole millennial, and I want to do the dirty jobs. It's because we make this generation look at those jobs and be like, you don't want to be a custodian because blah blah blah. But it's like, then who will? Who is going to be a custodian? Who's going to do that job then? Yeah. After the person that is 80 years old mopping the floor, after they die, who's going to step up and do it? You're telling me that no one's going to do it? We're just going to have a whole bunch of people that are college graduates. Like, some people, that's their thing. Hey, I love cleaning. I'm going to do that. You know, maybe I should do that. Yeah. I like doing this. I find joy in doing this.
If that's their passion, man, you know, nobody should knock you down for that. But people do that. And that's where you have to tell yourself, you know what? I'm not going to let this person, I'm not going to let he or she determine what I want to be in my life.
Exactly.
You got to be who you want to be, you know, and if you want to accomplish that, go for it. Nobody's knocking you for that, because it's important, man, that we don't let opinions from others determine who we are. You know, we're made in our own way, man. We have our own DNA, like,
yeah.
But we can't let some person that has just this, you know, these negativity traits and these insecurities about themselves, and they're just speaking all of this hate on you because of their own problems. Like, nah, that's not how it's supposed to work. Yeah.
I think a lot of people get discouraged because of their parents. Well, and I won't dive too deep into this.
I don't want to go in there. Yeah,
but
I could go all day.
Let's. I just always let people know, you know, that your parents think a certain way because they were raised a certain way, and you got to understand that. You got to understand where they're coming from and understand that the struggles they went through are something that was instilled in them, and that's a fear that was instilled in them. And, you know, the reason that they're telling you certain things isn't because they hate you or they don't want you to succeed, but it's because they're worried and afraid because they went through that, and it's something that is literally engraved in their mind.
Yeah.
And it's so hard to understand that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'll talk about that another time.
That. That's all day.
It's a hard subject.
Yeah, no, it is. And, you know, I think the whole premise of this episode, man, is really just to keep people, how can I say this? Because I want to make sure I say this the right way, because, you know, I don't want to, I'm not saying offending anybody, but it's just like, we know, and ourselves, we go through things on the daily. We go through our issues and even our insecurities, and we need a venting place to talk about them and to, I guess, learn from them. And, you know, it's important, man, that at our young age that we learn what our struggles are so that we can improve on them as we live our lives, because we only have one life to live, bro. We only have one, you know, just calling that we're destined to do in our lives. And it's like, it's time for us to maximize our passions and our gifts that God gave us, because it's just it's so crucial, bro. And it's like, I want to live my life, man, with having fun, traveling, doing things that I love, starting multiple businesses, and just doing that because that's my passion, bro.
Yeah.
That's my passion, and continuing this podcast for years and letting this grow and be whatever God wants it to be. That brings me joy, you know. And so I think it's important that we, as fellow homies, man, that we're teaching ourselves, you know, every day.
Yeah, that we practice what we preach.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And I feel this podcast so strongly because this year has been the year for me where I have been saying yes, and instead of just being like, let's do this thing, I'm like, all right, right now, let's do it. Let's,
like Nike, just
like freaking get out there and start doing it. Like I like I said way earlier in the podcast, I struggle with my physical health a lot because I always put it off as a afterthought.
Yeah.
I started going to the gym. It was not easy for me to do that.
Nah, it was never easy.
And I'm not saying that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just like going in there and like benching like 300 pounds, but I'm starting slow, and you know, it's okay to just start slow and start, you know, because that momentum is gonna increase. The more that you do it, the more consistent that you are, you're gonna be successful in what you do.
Facts. And I want to tell people, man, out there, do what you love, man. Do what you're most passionate about, because I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be so worth it in the long run.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be so worth it, bro. Because I don't want anybody to just be living a life, man, of just struggling and struggling to be happy and having that joy in their
And
lives. And just,
being something that Gary Vee said, you know, of like, you know, being excited for the weekend, like the weekend has you hyped, like, because it's the weekend,
man,
and you hate Mondays. Man,
shouldn't be
love
like
your
that.
Mondays. Like, if you're at a job where you literally cannot get out of bed and find any type of motivation, you need to find a new job. You need to find, because you cannot go through life with this, like, oh man, I can't wait for the weekend, I'm gonna be off. Like, you should find joy in what you're doing. And like I said, you won't always be happy, but at least you'll find joy in like what you're doing. At the end of the day, you can be like, man, I'm so blessed to be able to do this and
Yeah.
this job. You know, a lot of people, it just takes a little spark of like, you know what, maybe I got to think about my job differently. Maybe this is the right job for you. You just aren't looking at it the right way.
Right,
and
right.
changing your perspective on things will literally change your life.
Yeah. The weekends only last 2 days.
Exactly. You got an entire freaking 5 days.
Yeah.
Why are you hyped about 2 out of the 7 days?
Yeah. We only have 2 days, man, to really enjoy, you know, the time. But really, man, it shouldn't even be like that. We should be living our lives and our days, loving each day.
Exactly.
Now, okay, look, I can say it like it's all birds and flowers and all that, but literally, bro, I would rather live my life, you know, not making that much money, but enjoying what I'm doing every day.
Exactly.
Because it brings me joy. It makes me wake up. It makes me, you know, just want to live my life to the fullest instead of having to, oh, today is Monday. Oh, the typical Mondays. Oh, where's my coffee? Is my, like, nah, bro. I want to be able to wake up with just like that exuberance. Like, you know what?
Let's get today.
I'm doing what I love to do. I'm doing something that makes me happy.
Exactly.
And it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are the weekends. Monday is your weekend because you're doing what you're doing. That's how it should be, bro.
Yeah, you shouldn't find some type of, and like, you know, I'm not saying go out there and just quit your job. Don't do that. That's not wise. So, but what I am saying is really evaluate what you're doing. Look at what your priorities are, where you're finding happiness, what you're, you know, finding rest in. Like, are you literally working 6 days and then are excited about that one day? Then there's something wrong, because you're literally just one day out of the week for 52 weeks. That means at 52
and you ain't even happy,
days, you're happy.
And that's what I've been trying to tell people, bro. Society teaches you, man. Why do you think it's called the weekend? Because we're ending the week and we're ending the days that we just hate so much, and we can only relax for 2 days. It shouldn't be like that, shouldn't it? It shouldn't be to where we can only relax for 2 days and have to struggle for the next 5.
Yeah.
Like, of course, work your butt off. Do what you got to do each day. But every day should be like a weekend. Every day should be like a day where we can fully enjoy our lives and not have to depend on the weekend to fulfill that. We only got 2 days.
Yeah. And, you know, be realistic about your situation.
Yeah, always.
Be realistic about it. If your job is paying the bills and you know you got to do it for a season, you can do everything for one season. Everything. You can do everything for one season in your life. Maybe there is a season in your life where you have to go through the most garbage job ever, but that garbage job is going to open so many freaking doors for you, and you're going to find the financial freedom to go do your passion, and that's okay.
So that's what that's what matters, man, and that's important.
Find joy in that process.
Yeah, the joy, the process is always the most important process, because it's a process to where you want to go, you know. And so it's just like, I just want people out here to be joyful. I want people to have just fulfillment and happiness, man. And Yeah.
Because if you're not happy in the process, what makes you think that the end goal is gonna make any difference?
Yep.
What are you gonna gain from
That's
that?
a sermon. Ding 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 ding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think you're gonna find in that end goal if you're not happy getting there?
Yeah.
What kind of ridiculous thought process is that?
Yeah, and again, bro, society is teaching, and it has been teaching us those things, man, that we have to do what society wants us to do, and that's not the case. You know, we live in a generation now where there's more ideas, more different passions that people are starting to discover. And I personally think that the previous generation, that our parents were involved in 1950s and 60s, the society would talk to them, okay, you have to work a 9 to 5, you have to do this and that to survive in life, and really you don't have to anymore.
They're the generation in which they would want you to go to the employer and be dressed up in a business suit and have your resume in hand, be like, I'm here, I need a job, can you hire me? There's a thing called Indeed.com, not sponsored, but hey, shout out if you guys want to sponsor us. Indeed.com, you can put your resume on there and you can send 30 resumes as opposed to going to the one place dressed up. And we're just in completely different times, bro. People don't care about, you showing up in a suit. Like, people want honesty and want genuineness.
Yeah, but they just want to, again, man, we're preaching that happiness and joy, man, because that's what's needed in our generation.
Because
a lot of people
so
are having depressed. Oh, depression is so at all-time highs because people are not enjoying what they want to do, or they're not doing what they want to do, and their parents or their grandparents or whatever, or society is telling them to do this, but that's not what they want to do. Don't let somebody tell you what you want to do. Do what you want to do, as long as it's the right way and it's legal. Do the right things, but do what you want to do. So I'm telling you, bro, it's gonna be worth it.
Pray about it. Pray about it.
Yeah, always pray about it.
Pray about it.
Always, you got to. That's important, man. So I think, man, this podcast is definitely my favorite podcast.
Someone out there, I hope that this benefited you in some type of way, motivated you.
Yeah.
If you're listening right now and you're contemplating, maybe I should go hit the gym, go hit the gym.
Yeah, go and do them weights, man. Just don't hurt yourself, because weights are great.
If you want to start a podcast, go start a podcast.
Start a business, started.
Every long journey starts with one step.
Just one. That's all it takes, bro.
That's all it takes.
That's it.
Just
man.
Taking the one step. So, everybody out there listening to the Choppin It Up podcast, take your one step on this long journey.
Yep.
Thanks for listening in on this episode.
Hey, we're going to do more of this. This is not just the one episode where we're just going to talk about real life. No, we're going to be, of course, talking about other things, but we're going to make sure we talk about this more often, because this is things that our generation and even us that we need to hear and talk about. Because we're really speaking to ourselves. We're not acting like we're just
with the all be all people. Like, we're still learning. Yeah. And we mess up still. Yeah, and we're not the most successful people ever, but we're on a journey with you guys.
Yeah, we're not motivational speakers, but we're speakers, but we're trying to make sure that we
can share our experience.
Yeah, and because trust me, bro, everybody's going through the same situation and they're having the same issues, and we want to speak to them.
Exactly.
Because all it takes is one person to hear this and others, and then they're gonna be like, wow, I'm not the only one that goes through this. I can fight through this. I can deal with this. And so we're gonna definitely, man, because this is by far my favorite episode.
Me too.
I know it's only episode 4, but still, like, out of the 4, this is my favorite one because it's speaking to me and it's helping me. And I just hope that it helps many people out there that enjoy our podcast and enjoy listening to us consistently every Friday. And I just hope you guys enjoy it, man. This has been an awesome podcast. I've loved it for sure.
All right, me too. All right, this has been Chopping It Up. Deuces.
We out.